Did you provide a written contract this was a job that was going to cost how much?
Oh, it's $7,000.
Yeah, that's not worth the two of you taking a second and writing a written contract, $7,000?
This is the plaintiff, Yesenia Gell. She says she hired the defendant to retile her apartment floor and kitchen walls, and he told her he'd have the job completed in 7 days. Well, now it's been 2 months and he still hasn't completed the job. That's right, she paid this hack over $17,000. He left her place a bloomin' mess. She didn't get what she paid for and is suing him here and now for the state max of $5,000. This is the defendant, Ricardo Valerio. He says the plaintiff kept adding more and more things onto the job. And every time he told her it was going to cost her more and take more time, she agreed. This woman got a little obsessed with him because she sent him sexually suggestive videos of her naked in the shower and began coming on to him in uncomfortable ways. When he rebuffed her, she didn't like it, and now she's retaliating against him for rejecting her by filing this lawsuit. For money? No way. He's accused of not getting the job done.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
What you are about to witness is real. The participants are not actors. They are actual litigants with a case pending in civil court. Both parties have agreed to drop their claims and have their cases settled here before Judge Marilyn Milian in our forum, the People's Court.
Be seated, come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome.
Okay, Yesenia Gell, you are suing Ricardo Valerio's company, you don't want us to mention the name of it, for $5,000 that you say he owes you for botching a remodeling job. Let me hear from you first. What happened?
My name is Yesenia Gell, and I'm suing Mr. Ricardo for $5,000 for the reason that he didn't finish what we agreed to.
Is this where you live?
Yes.
Okay, and you run a daycare out of there?
Yes.
How long had you been running a daycare?
Since 2005.
And then you wanted to remodel the place?
Yes, because...
So you had to shut down the daycare to remodel the place?
No, I have to close down to remodel the place.
Close down completely. Yeah, that's what I just said,
yes.
Shut down the daycare.
Sorry.
So you had to close down the daycare, so families had to go somewhere else to get their daycare. So you...
They waited for me for a little bit, but not for the period of time that he took.
Okay, well, when you hire him to do the job, do you have a written contract?
He said he was going to give me a written contract, which I keep asking him for, and he never brought it up.
So why'd you give him any money if he wouldn't give you a written contract?
Because I know him for a long time.
How'd that work out?
Excuse me?
How did that work out?
Which,
not very well. You're here in court,
true.
So that was a dumb reason not to get a written contract.
You're right.
Did you provide a written contract this was a job that was going to cost how much?
Oh, it's $7,000.
Yeah, that's not worth the two of you taking a second and writing a written contract, $7,000? I mean, you don't provide written contracts?
I do.
Then why didn't you provide one in this case?
She keeps asking for adding more and more
So what?
to the
Then
project.
you do. It's called a change order.
I was going to.
Right. All you got to do is then do another contract for whatever she changed. But at some point before the work begins, there needs to be a contract that everybody's working off of. Why wouldn't you have provided that?
I didn't have the time.
Oh, you had the time. You had the time. Don't be ridiculous. What is wrong with you guys? All right, so it's an oral contract. And what's included in the oral contract? Let's guess and see if we can agree on that. What was included in the oral contract?
Okay, my kitchen floor from the daycare area.
What about your kitchen floor?
It needed to be removed.
And what kind of floor was it?
Tiles.
And it was going to be replaced with what?
Tiles.
And who was responsible for the material?
He was.
He was going to buy the material? The price included the material?
Labor and material.
So kitchen floor tiles, remove and replace, and he's going to be in charge. And what else did that contract include?
The bathroom.
Bathroom?
And the wall.
What wall?
The wall.
Backsplash of the kitchen?
He's supposed to knock down a wall on the daycare area.
Okay, when you said the kitchen, is it just the floor or is it also the backsplash?
Both.
Both? Okay, is that accurate?
Yes.
Okay, and so we've got, let's recap, the kitchen floor tiles and the backsplash in the kitchen. You're going to remove the tiles, discard everything, put in the new tiles as she picks from your stuff, and all that's included in the price. Same with the bathroom. What was going to be done in the bathroom? Just the tiles or the whole thing?
The whole bathroom was supposed to be done.
So that includes replacing the toilet and the shower and everything?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And then what was the third thing? Was a wall,
The
you
wall.
said. Anything else?
I think that's about it.
Is there anything else there?
No.
Okay. All right. And so he starts a job on what day?
February, at the end of February, because I gave him the check. He told me once I gave him the check, he would be able to start the job. So he told me, give me $7,500
You
up
gave him
front.
the whole amount up front?
He asked for $7,500, and then I made a check for $10,000 because I needed the apartment to be fixed fast.
I don't understand you whatsoever. I'm sorry.
Okay,
He asked you for how much?
$7,500.
And was the job, and the entire job was going to be $7,500.
No, it was gonna be $15,000.
Is that accurate?
Yes.
This is a $15,000 job and there was no contract?
I keep asking him every day for it, and he said, I'm gonna bring it to you.
What you can do is not pay the check until you have a contract. That's what you can do. It's not that hard. So he starts a job and it's when?
He started, let me look into my cell phone real quick.
Okay.
He started February 19.
And then what happens?
He started sending me the towel that I need to pick up from my
And
apartment.
you pick it out.
And
When
I
do
pick it
things
up.
go wrong?
When the 7-day passed, he told me my apartment was gonna be ready in 7 days. And then we keep going back and forth with the same scenario. And
And then what happened?
then he hired this gentleman because
Who's this gentleman?
Luis.
How old is he?
Luis, ¿cuántos años tú tienes?
Come on up, Luis. So he hires you,
Yeah.
but you're standing there. So we're going to get to that in a moment. So he hires him, and then what happens?
He hired a couple people. There was people coming in and out of my apartment. I come every day to check in the job. I keep calling him.
You weren't living there at the time?
I can't because I'm allergic to the dust. Every situation that was in my apartment give me sick. So, but I keep coming and check on him. I say, when are you gonna have my apartment finished? So there was a situation.
I don't know. Was he working every day, or he wasn't showing up, or what? What was it taking so long?
He was never in the apartment.
You mean he just wouldn't show up?
He was just bringing people in my apartment.
Were people coming every day to your apartment?
Yes,
They were coming every day. They just weren't
Yes.
getting much done.
they were not getting much done.
Okay. I don't
So-
understand how they could be. I know what it takes to rip out a tile floor, put in a new tile floor. I've done it a million times. So why? How long, according to you, did it take?
2 months.
Why would it take 2 months?
First of all, the apartment was supposed to be completely clear or our personal stuff. It wasn't the case. I had to move everything from one area to another to demo, and then move it back to demo the other part,
Yeah.
and so on and so on and so on.
Well, so no,
Until
not
the-
so on and so on and so on. It's a kitchen and a bathroom.
It's the entire floor of the apartment, from the kitchen to the living area.
Is there any floor is there any floor in the apartment that you weren't retired?
Just our son's bedroom,
All right. And
but everything else I had to move
I know, but why does it take 2 months? It still doesn't take 2 months.
because
they
of
can't
the
be,
added
they-
extras.
What extras?
Ceiling fan installation, water tank installation, light fixtures in the bathroom installation, ceiling fan combo in the bathroom
Okay, the
installation.
light fixtures in the bathroom is part of a bathroom remodel. That's already in the contract. How is that extra?
Not the light fixture. She only had one light fixture and it wasn't working. The GFI wasn't working properly, so I had to redo all the wiring to get that working properly.
Okay, the fan's what? An hour and a half, 2 hours. All right, then a light fixture's what? Another hour? We're talking about hours, sir. The things you were talking about are hours there. Not, I had to get permitting, I had to do this, I had to do that. So at some point you get frustrated. When do you decide you don't want him to come back? Him.
I
When
never decided. He left.
how did that happen then?
I told him
I'm going to
that-
give you the floor in a second. I just want to hear
I
her.
told him that I was supposed to get inspected, and he told me it was a Wednesday. And I said, listen, can you have my apartment ready? Because all you need to do is the kitchen. He was asking for more money.
What part of the kitchen?
The tile on the wall.
The backsplash?
Yeah.
So everything had been completed except for the backsplash? Mm-hmm. Okay, and then what happened?
In April, I sent him a text message.
April what?
Okay, I gotta look into my cell phone. April 3rd.
And what do you say on April 3rd to him?
I say, I'm sorry to let you know through this message that I'm gonna submit the paperwork to sue you for unfinished
Let me
job.
see the text.
Oh, sorry.
You can just hand it to my bailiff.
All right.
And you said that the work started when? February 17th? Mm-hmm. Okay, so then that's not 2 months. Oh, it's in Spanish.
Yeah.
Oh, lucky for you, I read Spanish. He doesn't answer any of your texts?
Nope.
Now, according to her, she acknowledges that you've done everything except for the backsplash? Is that accurate or no?
Yeah.
So it's just the backsplash that's left?
Basically.
All right, so let me hear your version of this. What went wrong here? What do you think was going on?
She was, since the get-go, she wanted to stay behind, cook for me, and show me how a real woman treats a man.
What do you mean?
Like that, what I'm telling you. Those are her words. I'm going to stay behind. I'm going to cook for you so you could see how a real woman treats a man. And I told her, no, you can't stay over here. You got all this dust. You know, once we start doing demo on old Stockwell and everything, is basically
Was she flirting
tough.
with you, you mean?
Yes.
Did she send you any texts?
She did a couple of FaceTimes through WhatsApp, masturbating in the tub or at her other daycare. And she also offered me that she makes $30,000 a month, that I don't need to work if I come with her, but I have to marry her, and that she will use some of that money to get a reconstructive surgery down there because she want to go to the altar. And she also mentioned what happened to her in the past, and that she got to the point that she liked it. And that's what she wanted me to basically do.
Wait, what happened to her in the past?
According to her, she was raped by her grandfather, raped by her father, and raped by her brother. And eventually, she liked it, and she wanted me to rape her, pull her hair, throw her to the floor.
Do you have any evidence of anything you're saying?
She has a tattoo, I believe, of a butterfly down there, because you can't record videos on WhatsApp.
You got a tattoo down there?
I told him about it. That's how he knows.
And welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. So, $15,000 contract, no contract, okay? A deal. When do you need a contract?
Always.
Even a petty little thing?
Even a petty little thing. Protect yourself from all losses.
But at a point, I mean, there's got to be some trigger.
Depends on what it is. Is it a verbal contract? Is it a written contract? What are the terms of what are we deciding here? I'm looking at you guys, obviously. Because
Why?
These are two lawyers, some of the best in the state.
Oh, is that true? Both of you guys are
Yes.
lawyers?
Absolutely not.
Are you a lawyer?
Absolutely not. But I do know that in the state of California, a written agreement can be in the email, could be verbal.
Do you know what res ipsa loquitur means?
Absolutely not.
You do so.
You must
You're a lawyer. That's a cute baby. Oh my God, you're such a cute baby. Smile. This baby is so cute. Okay?
What is that? What is that?
We're going back into the courtroom right now.
Why would you tell somebody that you have a tattoo?
I know
down there?
this guy for a long time.
Why would you tell
look into
somebody?
look into my messages and you will see who was flirting with who. Go to the beginning of it.
You go to the beginning of it.
I'm gonna show you. When you know somebody for a long time, you open yourself with them. And with the cooking situation,
Did you ever send him a video?
no.
FaceTime.
Did you ever
You cannot do
FaceTime?
FaceTime in
Did you ever do
WhatsApp.
anything? Did you do what he said?
Not like he's saying it.
A different way?
No, I told him he wanted it to have a relationship with me. And I told him, I'm a Christian now, and I want to wait. It's in here. I don't have to explain myself. It's in here.
While she's looking for that, at some point she tells you if you're not, you need to finish. Are you going to finish? You didn't finish, and then you're just ignoring her. Why is that?
No, because it was useless at that point. She wanted it to.
So you acknowledge that you left without finishing the backsplash, and she didn't fire you. You left.
She did. She told me. She gave me until Sunday of that week on.
No, but
on
then
April.
she after that she texts you. I see them, and you don't answer them. So if you decided not to go back, and she's saying please finish, then it's you who decides not to go back. What did you want me to see? Because all I see are I would have to listen to 40 messages. What like they're all you guys just tape and send your messages to each other.
He sent me a video, somebody kissing each other, and I was talking about the business, and he thought that I was sending him a picture of me, and then he apologized, and I said, if I want to have somebody, I want to marry them. I don't want.
You said you were going to find that, but that's not
It's
what
it,
you
but-
showed me. That's not. Who's the fellow next to you is, I don't care anymore. The fellow next to you is someone who he hired, and he's here to testify for you. Why? What happened?
So explain. He could tell you.
Well, that day I went to her house to talk with her because this gentleman didn't want to pay me. I worked since Tuesday to Saturday.
And did you get paid at all?
No.
He
I
didn't pay a penny.
No.
Okay.
And I called him. I called the guy who take me there because he.
Okay, so you
ordered
didn't
it.
get paid by him, and then you go to her house. What for?
Yeah, that he didn't pay me.
And then what? You wanted her
Because
to pay
he
you?
told
Just
her-
a second. And you wanted her to pay you?
Yeah, because he told me that she.
I didn't pay him. I didn't pay
that she
him.
didn't pay him.
And then you find out that's not true. Now, are you completing any additional work there now?
Right now, no. But I did the backsplash.
You did do the backsplash.
Yeah.
How much did you get paid for the backsplash?
$500.
Okay. So what did you have to? And by the way, you're suing for $1,200 to finish the kitchen when he told me you paid him $500.
Yeah, but I had to go Home Depot because if I would have, he would have charged me more if I didn't buy the material.
Okay.
So I have the
So show me the receipt for Home Depot.
Okay. Slide it out.
Okay, no, I need to see, I don't want to see that you spent $708 in Home Depot. I want to see the receipt so I can see that they are things related to a kitchen. I can't sneeze in front of Home Depot as I'm driving by without spending money.
I didn't bring it.
You're also suing for $800 to fix a jacuzzi. Why? What needs fixing on the jacuzzi?
The water on top is cold. The bottom water is hot.
Okay.
And it's not working properly.
Do you have any evidence that there's a problem with the hot and the cold? Do you have video of it? Do you have him? Can you verify
Yeah, I
it?
took
Can
a
the
video.
girl with you verify who's trying to help you? I'm sorry, the woman with you. Okay, come on up. How do you know?
So this is my mother, unfortunately. And I have the evidence. It's on my phone.
Well, hot cold's going to be hard. Do you have a video?
So
of?
I do.
Did you
have
ever
video.
test it?
I did. So,
Okay, so you're going to have to pay somebody to fix that, but nobody knows how much it's going to cost because nobody bothered to get an electrician or a plumber or whatever you get
Correct.
and get an estimate. And that's where
Correct.
your problem lies. Now, the lost wages of $3,000. Tell me about that.
Okay, I make $30,000 a month. And because he told me it was only going to take him 7 days, some of my parents removed their children to a temporary daycare. So it took him more, so I lost the business with some of my clients.
Construction always takes longer than people say. It's
Yeah, I know.
Right.
I would expect that he would take like 2 to 3 weeks.
Okay.
But when he told me, and he keeps sending me
Yeah,
pictures.
but you don't get lost wages for something like that. On the jacuzzi, unless you can show me a contract where the jacuzzi was included, specifically because I asked you at the beginning of the case, before people can make stuff up because it's important for them at that point and they figure out where I'm going, I asked, let's see if we can agree on everything that was included in the $15,000. The word jacuzzi installation was never mentioned. And now let's talk about $1,200 it cost to finish the kitchen. If you had brought me the receipt for the tile, I would include the tile. I'm going to have to guess at the tile because you brought me just a big chunky, look, I spent $700 one day at Home Depot. Did she pick out the tile? Was there ever, I see everything is verbal between you guys. There's no recording of anything being done. So how much was the tile that she picked out for the backsplash? Do you even remember?
The tile was going to be around 200 and change. She picked a tile that was worth about $379 at Home Depot.
And why was it going to be 200 and change then?
Huh?
If it's 379.
Square feet per piece.
Oh, 379 square
Yeah.
foot. Okay, that sounds reasonable. You paid him $500. Let's say it's $250 for the tile, and I'm going to add another $50 for whatever glue was going to need to be used. Then that would be $800 of this $16,000 job that was not completed. And I find in your favor in the amount of the $800. My verdict is $800 in favor of the plaintiff.
So after suing for $5,000, the plaintiff is just going to get $800. Mr. Valero, the defendant's just coming. I have a feeling you're glad this is over. Am I right?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
You learn anything from all of this?
Yeah, next time I'll write a contract.
Very good for you. All right. Sorry about that.
No problem.
You must sign a few documents. Ms. Gale, you learned something out of this as well?
Yes.
What?
To use my brain.
Use your brain.
Yes.
That'd be very good.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry you went through so much.
No, it's okay. It was God will that I win only $800, but God is good.
God is good.
Thank you.
Very good. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you all. Okay, Harvey, what do you think?
Okay, Doug, look, you got to have a written contract for all big ticket items for sure. And when you write it down, you got to put all the relevant details in. The amount that it's going to cost, the time it takes to get it done, all the relevant things. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
These are the plaintiffs, Larry German Jr. and his wife, Melissa German. Melissa says she and her husband went to retrieve their car on the way to church one day when they discovered it was missing. Turns out the defendant illegally towed their car from a spot they had every right to park in at their gated community neighborhood. The company didn't follow the law. They've ignored them for months, and today's judgment day because they're suing for the $139.95 they are owed. This is the defendant, Gary Kiernan. He says he has a contract with the housing complex where the plaintiffs live, and they were parked in a spot without the proper permit. He had every right to tow their car. The manager of the complex signed off on the tow, and he deserves to be paid every penny he charged this lady. He's accused of making a mistake.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiffs went to their cars on their way to church, found out it was towed. But the defendant says they parked in their housing complex without permits. It's the case of praise the Lord, but not the tow truck company.
Thank you, Douglas. Okay, Larry German and Melissa German?
Yes,
You are
ma'am.
suing 5J's Automotive, represented here by Gary Kiernan. You have authority to represent from the owner?
Yes.
Okay, for $139.95 because you got inappropriately towed. All right, what happened?
Well, what happened is on March 24th, 2018. First of all, let me start by saying we live in a gated community, okay? And you enter through like a security booth as you come in, okay? On March 24th of 2018, my husband, who's standing next to me, he parked our vehicle in one of the foreclosure spots.
What's a foreclosure spot?
Each unit is assigned a parking spot, okay? And there's a unit there that is assigned a space, but it's in foreclosure.
How do you know?
How do I know? Because there's actually, like they have like a vacant notice on the door. Like anytime on a premises that they're vacating somebody or do a foreclosure, they usually put like a judgment notice on the door that they have to vacate.
So you look around for the units where there's an eviction notice or a vacate notice, and then you look for their spot and you park there.
Well,
okay.
Yes, well, sort of so. So anyway.
So you got towed from one of those spots?
So pretty
much,
much,
And you're suing the tow company?
Somewhat.
Wow. I love it. Let's hear it. Go ahead.
So anyway, so there's multiple units that have foreclosure, and there's a lot of us.
Do you have a right to park in them?
Well,
or the chances are you're not going to get caught if you park in them.
Well, I didn't break the law.
No, of course not. You didn't get a ticket either.
I didn't.
What happened is that you guys get a call from whom?
The management company.
And they called you because who called them?
The tenant.
So apparently, the tenant did have a car they wanted to put there. Is that what happened?
No, Your Honor.
What happened?
So if a tenant lives in a housing complex and doesn't follow the rules of the road in terms of parking, should the housing complex give them a special break before towing the car?
I think maybe a warning first, but I think it's annoying for the other tenants for them parking in spots.
Who can make a case that you don't give them a break? They have to follow the rules.
You got to follow the rules, man. Parking, no break.
What do you say?
They should get towed.
No break.
No break.
No break, no break. Going inside the courtroom.
What happened was a tenant that lives next door to us, okay, a tenant, not a homeowner, because most of the people that own the homes, they're assigned a parking space. So
tenants assigned a parking space too.
No, there's only one. There's only
one tenant or one parking space per tenant?
There's only one parking spot assigned to each homeowner. So if you have the homeowner...
So tenants don't get parking spaces?
They don't give you more than one.
No, I'm sorry. Do tenants, you mentioned that it's just homeowners, do tenants get a parking space?
Well, if you live in there, well, she lives there with her mother. So it's her and her mother, and they both have vehicles. So her mother is the homeowner, and she parks in that particular spot.
Okay.
Okay, that she's assigned to.
So,
and then the tenant doesn't, if you're a second person,
she doesn't have a second
she
spot.
doesn't have a second spot.
So she wanted to do what you did.
Pretty much.
Okay, but how is it though, if you're right, how is it that she apparently convinces management to say, hey, that's the spot I'm supposed to be parking in?
Because she went to security and she told security that she is the owner of the spot, which I can prove that she did make that
So
statement.
what you're saying is she's lying?
I am, it's exactly what
So
I'm
then
saying.
your car got towed because she lied to management.
Correct.
Management then did their job, or didn't do their job, and called them and say, tow the car. Why are you suing this poor guy? Who signed off on the tow sheet? Let me see the tow sheet.
So I have the signed tow sheet and also the.
Is it signed by who she calls a lion tenant?
So yes, it's signed by the tenant, but in our towing contract with the
management, it
with
probably
the management, it says
with either management or any agent thereof.
or the tenant.
And management gave you authority of hey, come get.
So like they said, it's a gated community, so we have to be escorted in by security. They bring us to the vehicle.
Okay.
They take care of whatever it is with the tenant they do.
Right.
We get the signed sheet back, and then we're escorted out.
Okay. So it sounds like management checked. Sounds like you parked in the wrong space, and I'm trying to understand why you're suing. And no matter what, I'm still trying to understand why you're suing them.
With the towing laws in New York State, they supposed to have either the property manager sign off on a towing or the person acting in their as their agent, which would be the security to sign off. The security never signed off on that. The security didn't sign off on the paperwork. He had the tenant and that signed off, and they removed our car.
Management can make their agent. If they want to make a tenant an agent for these purposes, they can make a plate of fettuccine an agent. They can make anybody an agent they want. That's their purview. There's no law that says, oh, you can't have the tenant sign. In fact, it's probably a better policy because then the tenant has to be real sure about what they're doing when they say that.
Okay, but
I don't think you're going to find evidence that she lied. She probably paid management to be able to park there.
She did not pay the
Okay, so sue her and prove all that. But the person you have to sue is the person who you say lied on you. It's not management. Let me tell you, it's definitely not. The people I know didn't do anything wrong are these guys. They towed, according to whom they were told was the agent. So my verdict in this case is for the defendant.
Well, the plaintiffs definitely did not prevail in court today. It wasn't a good day to come here, was it?
No, it
for
was
you?
actually a great day to come here because I did get an experience and I learned something that I didn't know. So now that I know that a tenant can, even though they didn't own a spot, they can have the tow truck to come in and sign off on it.
Well, that's very valuable. Then you did learn a good lesson.
Yes, I did.
Okay. He gets off the hook. Okay?
All right.
And you're out the almost $140.
Right.
Thank you very much.
All
You must
right.
sign some documents, okay? Take care of you. All right, Mr. Kiernan. You weren't worried when you came in here, were you?
Not at all. And
you knew you'd done the right thing?
Yeah.
No problem?
No problem at all.
Good for you. Congratulations.
Thank you. So
Okay.
excited I didn't know it through my hands.
Okay, very good. Harvey?
Okay, hey, Doug, real quickly, the tow truck company did nothing wrong. They towed because they were authorized to tow. If there's any gripe, it's with the management company. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
This is the plaintiff, Cassandra Young. She says she rented an apartment from the defendant, and she was ordered to leave by a judge because she fell a little behind on her rent. The defendant locked her out before she could retrieve her grandbaby's crib and the refrigerator she owned. He never explained why he was withholding her security, as he's required by law to do, and she's here seeking the $4,200 she is most surely owed. This is the defendant, Robert Schick. He says he sent a detailed letter via certified mail explaining how her security was being applied to her outstanding rent, and he's sorry this woman was locked out for non-payment. But being sued here for $4,200 is absolutely absurd, and if you ask him, it's a form of harassment. Over all that money? Ha! He's accused of not following the law.
All parties, please use your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket. The plaintiff rented from the defendant, and she says that he locked her out and stole her grandbaby's crib. But the defendant says she's a deadbeat. It's the case of rockabye tenant.
Thank you, Douglas. Cassandra Young, you are suing the defendant's company, 335 Grove Street LLC, represented here by the defendant. You're the owner, Robert Schick?
Yes.
Okay, for $4,200. that you feel is owed to you in an $1,800 security deposit that you feel was wrongfully withheld. You're doubling that because you live in a state that punishes the landlord if it's wrongfully withheld, and also a crib and a refrigerator that you left behind. What happened here?
Yes, Your Honor, the night that, I had like 8 days to move.
Let's back up. How long did you live there?
Yes, about almost all the way up 2.5 up until 2000 October.
Okay, of
2017.
All right, and who was on the lease? You and 2 sons?
Okay, in the beginning, it was me and my 2 sons. Okay, my son Christopher, he left.
Okay, but who was on the lease?
Well, me and my son Christopher.
Okay, all right. So then what happens? What happens in October?
Okay, so my son Christopher, he left in 2016. My other son, Latif, he left a little after.
Okay.
Okay. So then, I called Mr. Slit and I told him, that my sons were no longer there. And I told him, like, the next lease, do not put their names on the lease because they're not.
But the next lease wouldn't come up until when?
July.
Of 2017?
Of 2017.
All right. So did you sign a lease in July of 2017?
No, I did not. Because because Mr. Slit took me back into court.
What is your name? Schick?
Schick.
Stop a second.
I'm sorry.
Schick?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
it's Schick.
Schick. Okay, I apologize.
No, that's all right.
He took me back into court. I got behind in May and June. I paid him $300, and so that took up the money for May and June.
And then you got behind again in September.
And then,
did you pay September rent?
No, I didn't.
Did you?
Wait, it was September and October. Those are the 2 months that I didn't pay. I'm sorry.
So you didn't pay September rent, you didn't pay October rent. You
Right.
file an eviction for non-payment of rent?
Yes, ma'am.
Is there a lease at the time that you do that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and who was on the lease?
Cassandra and Christopher Young.
Okay, so you, contrary to what she testified, you have a lease that covers October and September of 2017?
Correct.
May I see that lease? And it's signed by both of them?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, there's another lease entered into July 17 that includes both you and
I have
and your son. Did you know that?
I have 217 here.
Yeah. And do you know Christopher signs it?
Can I just see
Yes,
that,
you
sir?
can. And it's not on 217. It's on July 1st, 2017. So I'll show it to you. But in any event, you file a lawsuit to evict them for non-payment of rent, and what happens?
The court went through, and then they got the eviction.
Was there a hearing? Was there a settlement? What was it?
Yes, it was a non-payment of rent, and there was I don't remember if she showed up or not, but either way if she didn't show up, then there was a
Were
default.
you there or no?
My lawyer was there.
Your lawyer was there. All right, so you got a default judgment,
Yes,
and that included back rent for how many months?
For the month of September and October.
And then did she move out?
Either she got moved out or she got locked out. I don't remember exactly.
Okay, how many units do you manage that you have no recollection of this one?
I have a recollection of this one.
Okay, then did she move out or did she get moved out? Those are two different things.
I believe she was out right before the eviction.
Right before the date that the court had set?
Yes, ma'am.
What was the date the court had set?
October 23rd.
Okay, what day did you move out, ma'am?
Right before the last week in October.
Okay, can I see the judgment from the court? What are you suing for? You're suing to get a security deposit back on a place where you have just now told me that you owe 2 months' rent on.
What happened was he put a security lock the same night that I was moving, out. And I didn't have the tools to take down the crib and to take the refrigerator out. So they had to take the doors off to take the refrigerator out. So I didn't have, the tools to take that out. So that's why, I'm suing But I did call him. I called him several
So
times.
you left that stuff behind?
So I left the refrigerator, and I left the crib, and a small another.
Why didn't you just move out when you could move out and take everything with you?
I did, and
but you didn't take the fridge and the refrigerator. That's what you're complaining. You're suing for that now for $600. Why didn't you just take it with you?
Your Honor, I had just really basically got back out of the hospital, because of my heart and of my back. I have a bad sciatica problem.
I know, but you moved everything else. Why didn't you move the crib? And I hear what you're saying. You didn't have the tools. Why didn't you get the tools? There was a court order ordering you to get out. You waited until the last minute.
You're right.
I mean,
You're right.
At what point is it up to you to take your stuff out? Where's the crib and the refrigerator?
It was kept for 30 days in storage, and after 30 days...
Show me the proof of that.
That we kept it? I don't have the proof.
You just say things like I don't think you. How many buildings do you have? How many units?
About a couple of hundred.
I can't hear.
Couple of hundred.
Couple of hundred. That's what that sounds like. What you're telling me. I don't think you have any specific recollection of this one. I think you're just like, this is what we do. We keep it 30 days. That's because the law says you got to keep it 30 days. You have no idea what happened in this particular case. You don't know when she moved out. You don't know.
No, I don't know exactly what date you're on it because you have the paperwork in front of you. I'm very familiar with the case. We keep a very clear structure of everything we do.
So did you see the crib and the refrigerator?
I did not. My people kept it in storage for 30 days.
So then show me the proof that you kept it in storage.
I didn't. We don't keep proof.
Okay. So then give me an affidavit from whoever put it in storage.
Okay.
It's not laughable.
I didn't bring one. I'm sorry.
Okay. Well,
I'm sorry. Right. I didn't know I have to bring one. I didn't.
Okay.
So once the tenant moves under these circumstances, is the stuff left behind the landlord's stuff?
Yeah, I believe that the landlord doesn't hold any responsibility to hold the stuff. In any case, depending if the tenant talk to the landlord, they will be able to hold their stuff for him, but they do not have any responsibility.
Got your point. Going inside the courtroom.
How did he know you got out? Did you say, okay, I'm out?
The same night.
Okay, so why are you saying that if you're still not out and you still have a refrigerator and a crib you want to go back and get? Why are you saying I'm out that night?
Oh, well, I took out as much as I could.
How are you suing for $1,800 when you have admitted to me point blank that you owe, how much was the rent?
$1,200.
That you owe $2,400 in rent at a minimum.
Well, I don't know. Legal aid told me that I.
Legal aid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. Hold on. Let me ask your lawyer from legal aid. Can you tell me why? Legal aid's not in here, are they? Okay. No, that's not how it works.
No, I understand what you're saying.
And so in your lawsuit against him for $4,200, $3,600 for double your security deposit that you say was wrongfully withheld, I don't think so. And the crib and the refrigerator, unless you can show me proof that within 30 days of the October move-out date, you said, hey, wait. I left a crib and a refrigerator. You're going to have a really hard time. Do you have any texts from during those 30 days?
I have one.
Is that a phone?
Yes. This is my son. I texted him to see if he can reach him because he wasn't answering my calls. I had called him I called him like maybe 10 times and he didn't even answer me.
If that crib is still in the house, if it is, ask Robert, can we come by and get it? That's between you and your son. Based on what I've heard, I find in favor of the defendant in this case.
Thank you.
So the plaintiff fails to prove her case. Ms. Young, you know what?
Yes.
Wasn't such a good idea to sue.
No, but it's okay.
Why?
I just wanted him to just stop, from taking money from my son's check.
Didn't work.
No, so.
You know that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I'm sorry.
Okay.
But that's it for this case.
Okay.
Thank you very much. All right, Mr. Schick. I got to stop saying, you didn't seem too well prepared for this case. You know that.
We were very well prepared. I'm just not familiar with the paperwork. My lawyer takes care of it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Every time the judge asks you for something, you were having really trouble coming up with it. So anyway, if you have to show up in court next time, get a little better prepared.
Thank you.
Okay. But anyway, thank you very much. Okay. Harvey?
Hey, when the court orders the tenant out, any stuff left behind is abandoned.
Don't text and drive. The People's Court is a Ralph Edwards Stu Billett production.